So now let's look at the toppers that I've created. Really simple, really inexpensive, little bit of card, and using the stencils, Luminarte stencils as well. So yeah, different approaches, but they both look effective. So we'll park those to one side, and I'm going to show you what they look like. This is what they're like. Now they don't come to you like that, they come to you attached on a much larger sheet. And a little tip here is, you can see they're serrated, but don't tear them, because then you risk tearing your stencil. What I did is I folded them back and forward on themselves quite a bit to weaken it, and then I used some large like wallpaper trimming scissors and cut it like that, and then you're going to get your stencils nice and intact. The next thing you want to do is, to make them stick better to your background, is to spray them. Always use the same side when you're spraying, with a little bit of stick and spray. Now this is my spray booth. It's a plastic folder, but I like to sound a little bit more important than I am, and call it a spray booth. So you can see how a little bit of that, just a little bit, so that it'll stick to the card that we're going to work with. You're supposed to leave that about 30 seconds so that the moisture evaporates, and just what you're left with is the tackiness of the stick and spray. Let's grab some card in the meantime. I bet you can't guess what card I'm going to use here. Ooh, it's Centura Pearl. But I'm using the non-coated side here, the lovely white, smooth, non-coated side. Hopefully that should be stuck enough now. Ready now? So we'll pop that one there. Just pop it down. Just that little bit of stick and spray just helps you position your stencil, and it gives you more of a chance of not getting the bleed underneath the areas as well. Excuse me. So you can see some people might even clean them at some point, but I'm not going to let that worry me. There you are. So we've got the two stencils. Now, two different approaches. For the butterfly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the dabbers, and I'm going to use some quite strong earthy colours on here. I'm going to use some of that, well, the favourite again. This is the olive vine. I love the olive vine. And also this one here, this is the bronze, and the bronze is more of a mica in, it's not as much of a coloured solution actually, the bronze one. So let's give them both a bit of a shake to get them ready. Another little tip is give them a tap on the table or your surface, and that gets the mica moving and dislodged a bit. So, and that makes it work a little bit better. So we'll just do what we did earlier with the background, just splodge it. Get some colour onto your craft mat, and let's do the same with the bronze. Now you see, you couldn't stencil that, you couldn't apply that straight to a stencil because it's far too liquid and fluid. It'll just run right underneath all those areas, because a paint for stencil needs to be almost dry. But what we can do is use a bit of your cut and dry foam and apply it like that, and just start splodging. Just splodge through. Now this one I want to be very earthy. Okay, I want it to be you know, to go on a brightly coloured background. So if this was also brightly coloured, it would just be too much and in your face. So I'm keeping this one more muted, hence the colours I'm using. But I'm also going to go in there with some black soot distress ink at some point as well. But I want plenty of bling on there. So just go ahead and just keep dabbing. Now if you want a little bit more colour, say in the centre, maybe you want a bit more green, we'll just add a little bit more of that there. And pick it up on your cut and dry foam and just a bit more green in the centre. These are quite close, they blend quite a lot, these two colours, so you won't see a dramatic change in there. If you want more drama, go with something like, let's go purple. Look, let's go for this one, really, really pretty as well. Wine and Roses. Just give it a tap just to dislodge the mica from the bottom, and then splodge on your craft mat, because there is a valve in there, so it won't come out unless you press down and activate the valve. So you're in control of that. So we'll leave that at that point. Yeah, look at how much more drama that is there. Now I am blotting it still though, because if I brush I might just catch a bit of the stencil and it'll lift up on itself. But that's good. That's a really strong metallic-y kind of neutral effect there, without any strong vibrant chroma. So I'll just wipe that. Now the opposite approach I'm going to take with this beautiful dragonfly is, let's use a combination. Let's use some of the pearl gold again in the spray, and let's use this beautiful wine and roses again, possibly a little bit of the Mediterranean. So just to get ready before I do anything else, let's just splodge some of that there. Now I will tell you, when I'm spraying this one, when we lift the stencil up, you will see some bleed through on this. I'm going to show you what it's going to look like, because the spray will find its way underneath the stencil. But I'm not worried about that because I'm going to cut it out. So first thing, because I want it very pale, I'm going to just spray it. Now the important thing is with the sprays, you wouldn't believe how people can get spraying wrong. You think, how can you not get that right? But there's two things you can do. The main things I see frequently in workshops: too close to your project, when you press down you get like Niagara Falls and it just blasts everything out of existence. Or trying to be careful when you apply the spray and just very slowly pump the spray down. You've got to commit to it and give it a proper spray, and that's how you're more likely to get the mist without the drops as well. So, but that's got enough on there, because I've sprayed it with the gold because I want it lighter in tone and colour. Now next what I'm going to do is I'm applying the concentrate with a brush, and I'm just catching the edge of the wings here. And if I want to lighten that a little bit more, I can actually just spray in a little bit of the spray onto my craft sheet and brush that on. I don't want to risk overspraying it because then it will bleed even more. So I don't want to push my luck with that. So you can see we've got that there. Now I'm just going to continue and create this body, but even though because where the stencil, it hasn't, you know, you don't know there's a body there in the middle there. We do here, but just to continue it in that section there with a little bit of the blue. And I think that, you know, I'm quite happy with that. I think that will look fine when I'm done. If you want to play a little bit more, you can, but maybe make it a little bit more pinky. Really strong, gorgeous, vibrant pink, this one, jasmine, just to give it a little bit more of a pop at the end of the wings. But can you see how it's just different application? Don't be scared to play with this. There isn't any rule. It's got to, you know, one's got a spray, one's got a dabber. That doesn't mean that's all you have to do. You know, don't think that the restriction's there just because the way it's applied. So, next thing, let's wipe that. And then let's lift this up. Okay, can you see how that one's quite neat because I used some cut and dry foam? Quite defined the area. Now I have a sneaky suspicion that this one, yeah, just as I thought, not quite as much, but not a problem at all, because I knew what I was going to get and I'm prepared for that. So let's just give that a quick dry. So those two are dry now, and what I'm going to do is cut them out. So I'll just start using some, you know, I like these snippy scissors, and go ahead and cut these out, and then we'll have a little bit of pause and you can come back to me while I do this.